you know, when thinking about nutrition on a marathon, again, I'm going to be a broken record sometimes, but because I think your training again is the issue. And it's important when you're training, especially in those long runs, to think about your nutrition, to have a plan on those long runs and change it up. Some long runs try different types of nutrition, whether it's different gels or different pretzels that you carry along with you, see what works for you. And then when the race comes, you do what worked on your training. I also think in the weeks before the marathon, I'm not a believer in this carb loading stuff because again, unless you're doing that during your training, unless you're doing it when you're running your 15 mile, 18 mile, 20-mile runs, if you're going to do it for the marathon, you're changing how you were training and you're possibly going to have some GI change then. And I would rather know what I'm going to experience on race day based on my training.
So early on in training right now, when I think about nutrition, it catches me unawares and I realize, oh, I'm a lot hungrier than I normally am. So by the time training has reached its fulfillment and we're preparing for the actual race itself, I just try to keep with what I've been doing of not letting myself get hungry, but like anticipating my own hunger. And same as throughout training, training throughout the summer, it's really hot and you lose a lot of electrolytes. So I'm sure that I'm well hydrated and not just with water, but restoring electrolytes so that I'm maintaining the water. So there's a lot of different um, things available out there, like the NUUN tablets. I'm not actually sure how you say it. Maybe the Noon tablets or liquid IV. Taking that with water and making sure the food that I'm eating um, is like substantial. I'm not cutting anything out. I'm just making sure I'm fueling my body and anticipating the race day. So carbo loading is a good idea, but also getting protein and vegetables too. So it's not just all about the pasta, but that's good too.
Nutrition before race day and during race day, and but also after race day, equally important. So prior to race day, throughout the whole training cycle, the one nutrition thing I do not do, and this is my recommendation for absolutely everybody, do not fall into the trap of thinking that you can eat anything you want because you're running a lot of miles. Uh, I made that mistake when I started running several years ago. uh, don't do it. Don't think that you can wolf down a pizza because you did a 20-mile long run or whatever. It's not all good. You're going to get out of yourself what you put in. Not all food, not all fuel burns the same. So it's, for me, a lot of protein in the morning. I eat like some of that protein packed oatmeal, or I'll do a protein shake, and I'll throw in not just the powder stuff, but a little bit of peanut butter in there as well. But then beyond that, I snack on vegetables. I eat a lot of pasta. So much spaghetti is eaten throughout those months. So much pasta. Um, and like fried potatoes and those kinds of things, particularly before my long runs, or if I've got like a Wednesday interval session, I'll absolutely eat pasta before that. So I do that. During the long runs is the perfect time to try out your nutrition game. So not just your mindset game, but also treat your long runs as a dry run for trying out your nutrition, what you're going to use on race day. Try things out. That's the time to realize that maybe goo doesn't work for you. Maybe you would rather use some kind of a powder, like whatever, Tailwind, something like that. But try things out on your long runs. I do. As I get older, I find out that my sensitivities change regarding certain nutrition things too. So I don't assume that what worked last year is going to work this year. So race day. Race day, I am using Tailwind, which is, it's like a powder that you can mix with your water in your water bottle. One mistake I found out the hard way, though, is this isn't going to hydrate you the same way as just regular water, because it is a nutrition drink. It's a carb drink. So totally hit those aid stations anyways, and get some water or Gatorade or whatever. But these are really great. I am gulping one of these down before the race, a tailwind, and then starting at usually mile 5, I start on the second one, and then I have a third one. And I use these bottles because they collapse, and you can stuff them into your pockets, or I use a flip belt. You could tuck those away easily. But this is really, 3 of these will get me through an entire marathon. Beyond that, I supplement with a little bit of goo, and I just like to chew on something. So that's really the only reason I use blocks. These are like flip blocks are kind of my go-to. Usually 2 of these get me through the race. Afterwards, that's when I celebrate with a stuffed crust pizza or hash. I like a big can of corned beef hash. I usually have that actually ready to go. Hash and V8 juice is usually immediately following the race to celebrate, because we do need to treat ourselves. You need a treat. So that's my nutrition game for before, during, and after the race.